This week on the Digital Coffee, TikTok and WhatsApp have gone shopping mad. Snapchat wants you to scan your groceries, and Instagram Live just got long. All that and more after this. Good morning, and welcome to the Digital Coffee. This is your weekly dose of digital marketing and social media news for small business. I almost forgot my mug. My name is Amanda Webb. Instagram Live is a wonderful way for you to connect to your audience. And I think two of the things I really love about it is, firstly, it's in the moment, which is what Instagram was supposed to be about. It's in the moment. It's happening now. It's live. I also like that officially you're not supposed to stream through third-party tools. And when people do, the quality is not really there. It's not great, which means that you are streaming directly from your device, which means it's lovely and raw and real. And that sort of connection can be really strong with your audience. So I love it. Why am I talking about it? Instagram have upgraded, or they're making some upgrades to live. The first one is, at the moment when you broadcast a live, it only stays up for 24 hours. You're now going to have an archive of your lives that is going to stay for 30 days. Now, this morning, I've been trying to work out, is that just for you? Will you be able to republish that so that people can see it, or share it to IGTV, or download it? I don't know the answer yet. So if any of you get to test that, let me know. The second update to live is you'll be able to go live longer. You'll be able to go live for 4 hours. 4 hours. I'm wondering, will anyone watch for 4 hours? But then I realized there are these really exceptionally long YouTube shows that people do watch for a big amount of time. So it is possible, although I'm wondering how an Instagram Live would actually hold your attention that long. The third update is even more bizarre, but it tells me something about what Facebook is trying to do. If you have the IGTV app, so hands up if you do, you will have, there'll be a tab that actually says live now. Now, the reason I think they're doing this is I don't think many people use the IGTV app. I took it off once I realized I could access IGTV through the regular Instagram app. But of course, having that separate app makes it very YouTubey. And we're on a bit of a theme here because we've been talking for weeks and weeks about how Facebook wants to own the whole internet. And the one thing it's never quite got is video. It's working really hard at it, but people still don't use Facebook or any of its tools as a destination for watching video. So could IGTV and this plan to have this live tab and more features appear on that app break people out into using that as a video app? I don't know. It's interesting to think about though, isn't it? WhatsApp is ad free, and I think it's going to stay that way because you may remember a while ago, Facebook decided it was going to test ads on WhatsApp, and there was such a backlash. And I mean, it must have been a massive backlash for Facebook to respond to the ads there, and Facebook decided they were going to end their WhatsApp ads program. I think most of us expected it to come back at some stage, but it doesn't look like it will because it looks like WhatsApp are working on a new revenue stream. And that coincides with the fact that they are working on some new e-commerce tools, some of which, and they're not saying what or how, businesses will have to pay for. So these e-commerce tools include things like if somebody is wanting to buy something from you, it will connect up with your e-commerce solution and it will show them what you've got in stock. They'll be able to complete the whole buying process and transaction through WhatsApp. And I love this. I don't know if any of the other tools offer, just this direct messaging opportunity and you can take that into your business account. I think it will be really good for retailers. It's a wonderful way to just make a more personal connection with people, even though a lot of it will be done through chatbots. We don't quite know how it's going to work yet. This is all new. We will We will have Sasha on the show once we know more. Also, some other features related to that, all of which is a little bit above my head at the moment, but I'm looking forward to seeing how they go. So the difference is they say you're going to charge for some of these tools. And when you think about it, you can't advertise on WhatsApp. So you're not putting ad spend into WhatsApp. So actually, it could be well worth your while investing, as long as it's not too much, as long as it's affordable to a small business, investing some money in these tools that you're going to have for WhatsApp. I mean, it can sit aside your hosting and or your website expenses, and possibly you won't even need a website. I'm imagining it's going to integrate to Facebook and Instagram shops. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't have a website. You should have a website. I'm really interested to see how this one evolves. Half of TikTok users say that they buy a product after they've seen an advertisement from a brand or a product online. Half. So of course, TikTok aren't going to miss this bandwagon that everyone is jumping on, which is online shopping. They want a piece of that action too. And this week they have announced an integration with Shopify. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about with Shopify, it's a website building tool designed specifically for e-commerce. It's a really useful tool for small businesses. So this integration will mean that small businesses will easily be able to run better ads on TikTok. It also means because they're fully integrated in your TikTok Business Manager, you'll be able to add the pixel to your website with one click. And what the pixel does is it helps you measure the effectiveness of your ads. It will know if somebody has bought because they've looked at your ad on TikTok. Now, those tools are great, but it doesn't solve the main problem. And please don't do this. Please don't do this. TikTok has a very specific video style and language. You don't have to do weird challenges and dances, but there are specific ways to create a video for TikTok so it fits in with the ecosystem. And what very often happens when people start creating ads for platforms is they repurpose a YouTube video or repurpose this video. And it just sticks out like a sore thumb. It doesn't fit with the TikTok style. And TikTok are aware that this is a problem. So what they're doing is they're adding a creative suite into that ads manager. So you'll be able to make videos for your ads that are similar to the style and the language that you see elsewhere on TikTok. So if your audience is on TikTok, this is definitely something worth investigating. Should you be using TikTok? Only if you've got the time to invest in putting together videos that are going to fit with what else you see on TikTok. It's not just for young people anymore, but that is still a very definitive style that you will need to follow. When you write a blog or an article for the internet, or you'll see it in newspapers too, there's always subheadings. Subheadings perform a really important role. They help people navigate their way through your blog posts. So a lot of people won't read the whole article. They'll scan through, they'll look at the subheadings first. Is this worth my time to actually read? And those subheadings will help them know, is this information I know already, or does this look a little bit more interesting? And actually, there's an equivalent of that for video content called chapters. And this is something you can do on YouTube. You can, almost like creating subheadings, you can take each section of your video and notify YouTube that this is a new chapter. So this is part 1, this is part 2, this is part 3. This is the bit where I talk about YouTube chapters. Those will really help people navigate your content. They'll help them understand whether it's a video they want to keep watching, because a lot of people, if they just start at the beginning, might switch off before they get to the good bit. And this week, YouTube is upgrading video chapters. So now, when you hover over the chapter, you will get a list of thumbnails along with the headings for each of those chapters, making it so much easier to navigate to the piece that you want to see. And I think this is good news for viewers, because viewers will be able to decide whether the content is watch-worthy so that you're not wasting your time watching content that isn't. And it's good for us as content producers as well, because we'll be able to capture our audience attention for every single chapter that we create. And you need to think about that now when you're constructing videos specifically for YouTube, but I can see this being rolled out to other platforms as well. Speaking of which, I have a new YouTube channel, which I will be launching next week. So I'll post the link next week and you can see what sort of thing I'll be creating, and I'll be asking you to subscribe and all that jazz. How often is too often to show someone an ad on Facebook? And this is something that I kind of freak out about sometimes. I'll be looking at the frequency of the ad campaigns I'm running and wonder, is that too much? And I'm always checking my ad relevancy to see, are people complaining about this ad? Is this too much? Well, Facebook have done a study of 2,439 Facebook ad campaigns to try and find out what the best frequency is. And actually, the answer is they don't really know. They don't really know, because there is a slight little dip in reactions to a specific ad at a frequency of 7. So, which would suggest the best frequency is 6. So here's the graph. There's a little dip. But look, it's a tiny dip. It's a tiny, tiny, tiny dip. So that is far more views than if I had a frequency of 7, I'd be freaking out a little bit, thinking people had seen my ads too much. And actually, it's okay once it's not one single ad, because if they see the same ad 7 times, that is going to get slightly irritating. And that's Facebook's advice on this. Facebook's advice is, if you start to see a dip, upgrade your creative, make sure people are seeing different versions of the ads. So more reasons to create ads in Ads Manager so you can have different versions of your ads showing. So if they do see it 7 times, it's likely to be different versions of the ad. One thing to note is this study was done for brand lift campaigns with the brand lift objective. This is an objective I rarely use because it's actually not great for small business, because how it works is, if you've got a big budget, you put this out and then Facebook will survey people to see, do people recognize the brand as a result of it? And, it's more than going, do you recognize this brand? It's a subtle survey. It's a subtle survey. So from this is how they were able to garner the positivity and negativity around a brand and whether it was effective or not using this. But actually, I think the same rule goes for all campaigns, because you just need to watch that graph. You need to watch your results over time. And when you do start seeing them dip, you always have ups and downs during a week. But if you see a big dip, that's the time that you need to refresh your creative or refresh your audience or refresh your approach. Interesting study. Snapchat is no longer the fun and frivolous network it used to be. Well, actually it is. If you're young, it's still fun and frivolous, but also it's got stuff for old people like me. You may remember that earlier in this year, they introduced a new scanning options, which included being able to scan flowers to find out what flower that was, and to scan dogs to find out what dog breed they were. So you're surreptitiously sneaking up on somebody's dog. I don't know. That seemed like an odd one to me. But now they're introducing, well, I think this is way more valuable than dog scanning, at least. I like to know what flowers I'm looking at when I'm out and about. I have an app for that. But this, I like this. So what this is you'll be able to scan some food and drink products, the barcode that they use. And that will give you, for food, nutritional information about the food, or for wine, it will give you a review. It will tell you whether the wine is actually any good or not. So I tell you what, I'm definitely going to be bringing this to Lidl next time I go wine shopping. Okay, I just admitted about my cheap wine habit. I love this. I love the way that Snapchat is branching out into these new ways of facilitating search. We talk about voice search being the search of the future. Actually, I think a lot of the search of the future could be scanning items just like Snapchat, and I'm sure it's only going to get better over time. Apparently, Pinterest searches for Christmas gift ideas peaked in April. And that just shows, I think, we've been waiting for Christmas for a long time, haven't we? We've been waiting for some big festival that we can enjoy, even if it's not like other Christmases. Now, Pinterest is the place that people go for inspiration for these sort of things, or it is becoming the place that they come for inspiration for these sort of things. And Pinterest, every year around this time of year, I start manically talking about the updates to Pinterest shopping because they really hone in on it for the Christmas market. And this year is no different. They are adding some new tools, including merchant pages. So you'll actually have like a shop window for your account. You'd hook it up again to Shopify or WooCommerce or whatever e-commerce tools they support, and it will automatically populate that. You'll be able to put in product categories, and when something goes out of stock, it will disappear. It will also have dynamically populated sections that will depend on your stock, but also on the person that's viewing it. So the shop page will be really cool. But also they're going to have recommended retailers. When somebody searches, say, for an orange fluffy jumper on Pinterest, they'll show pictures and they'll also be flagged telling you where you can buy them. It is the e-commerce tool. Don't ignore it anymore. It is not too late to get onto Pinterest for the Christmas holiday season market. Definitely have a second look at it if you are selling for Christmas. You may have way too much going on now, but I do think on an ongoing basis, Pinterest is going to be a good place for your e-commerce. And as most of you are in the UK, we've got a few more Irish people in now. As most of you are in the UK, you actually have access to way more tools than we do in Ireland for your Pinterest shopping, because so much of your population are avid Pinterest users. So they really are showing themselves as being a good competition for things like Instagram and things like Facebook. And it's going to be really interesting to see how it develops. A little piece of me is sad that Pinterest isn't just that pinboard app that it used to be. But I'm guessing when you run a commercial business, you have to make money somehow.